Good evening. It's 6 p.m. It's Saturday the 10th of May and welcome to our Saturday evening news programme. And the first thing I have to say for you tonight that this will be our last Saturday weekly news programme. We've been producing the programme for around 5 years now, starting back in 2020 during the COVID lockdown. It takes a long time to gather information and prepare for the programme each week. And all but a handful of programmes have been produced and broadcast live each week. Now, changing work and personal commitments have made it quite difficult and increasingly more difficult to produce the programme. So the difficult decision has been made that we're going to draw this service to a close. However, the good news is that Andrew's weekly film reviews will continue and these will be published each week except when he's away. Our weekly quiz programme will continue at 7:30 on a Saturday evening. We will continue to broadcast Clive Gray's gardening programmes as well, and we plan to pop up occasionally with some special news features and reports. So a big thank you from me to all those who've helped with the programme over the years, especially Janet Hall in the early years, Andrew in the latter years, and Samantha, who has helped me in the background considering the content for the news reports each week. Anyway, that's the main news this evening. Now on to our regular programme and the headlines. Now, crowds have turned out this week to the VE Day 80 commemorations. It began with a service by the Royal British Legion and ended with the VE Day 80 beacon being lit on the beach as the 80th anniversary marking the end of World War II was celebrated in Weymouth. The event took place on Thursday the 8th, coinciding with the national beacon lighting events across the country. Councillor John Orell, the Mayor of Weymouth, said, "We are honoured to be here with the Royal British Legion, our local community and all those who have come together to mark the momentous day in history." On this day, 80 years ago, Europe celebrated the end of the Second World War. Victory in Europe marked the triumph of freedom and peace after years of hardship, sacrifice and loss. It's a day of remembrance for those who fought, those who died and those who lived through the devastating effects of the war. The Mayor read out the VE national tribute before inviting the crowd to join in a choir to sing "I Vow to Thee, My Country" as the beacon was lit. Oh, there we go. The path from Rylands Lane in Wyke, Regis to the Rodwell Trail has been restored and reopened. The footpath from Rylands Lane that leads to the Rodwell Trail and down to Castle Cove Sailing Club and Sunset Beach has been repaired and is now reopened. The path has been in a very poor condition for a long time and has been affected by landslips and bushes and other plants growing across and falling across the path. The project undertaken by Dorset Council has given the path a total revamp, with banks being stabilised and now making the path wider and more accessible. The public footpath was closed for roughly 6.5 weeks while Dorset Council Highways team cleared vegetation and rubbish on the ground and rebuilt the bank along the footpath using existing path materials. As the mounds are now successfully built up again, councillors have been working with the highways engineers to stabilise the area to avoid another landslip. Biodegradable green membrane has been used on the banks, which are now planted with pollinator-friendly plants to help grow the bank back to stability as quickly as possible. Children in Dorset receive exceptional services. That's one of the headline findings of Dorset Council's latest full Ofsted inspection, which has rated its children's services outstanding in its overall effectiveness. Following an inspection of local authority children's services in March, the report published by Ofsted this week confirms that the authority is outstanding in 3 of the 4 graded areas and good in the 4th, giving it an outstanding overall. There were many positive highlights in the report, including children continue to be placed at the heart of Dorset's local authority and practitioners' relentlessly dedication to ensure children, families and care leavers receive the support they need shone through during the inspection. Welcoming the news, Paul Dempsey, who's the Executive Director of Children's Services at Dorset Council, said, "Being judged outstanding is a fantastic reflection of the hard work of so many people and not just those within Dorset Council." Acknowledging that there are always things that could be improved, Mr Dempsey continued, "It's great to be judged as outstanding by Ofsted, but we recognise that there is always more we can do, and we continue to be ambitious for all children. Ofsted identified just one area for improvement in relation to the detail and clarity of our offer for care leavers, and we are already working on actions to address this. Writing on behalf of Ofsted in her summary report to children and young people, His Majesty's Inspector Sarah Canto thanked children and young people in Dorset for their involvement. We saw that children and young people are very involved in the corporate parenting board and other events, and the positive difference you make. We spoke to several children and young people during the inspection. Thank you so much to those of you that met or spoke with us. It really helped us to have a good understanding of what services help you and what could be better. The full report from Ofsted is available to read and download from the Ofsted website. Did you know that you can report all collisions or near misses online, even if there's no injury or little damage and no police involvement? Collisions involve an injury where someone is in danger, where an offence may have been committed, or details have not been exchanged should always be reported to the police. But Dorset Council wants to know about other collisions. Having information about damage-only, non-injury incidents and near misses helps the council identify where road improvements may be needed. Near misses, which might be at low speed with another vehicle, a pedestrian or a bike, and dents often go unreported. They may be minor, but lots of small incidents in the same location can highlight the need for change. This might be something simple like new signs or bigger like a new junction design. If you want to report a non-injury near miss, if you Google Dorset Council report non-injury near miss, you'll get yourself through to the website where you can do that. As well as giving details about the incident, you can pinpoint the exact locations using an online map. All information provided will only be used for gathering evidence to make road improvements. It's not to be used for other purposes. Obviously, for more serious incidents, collisions that involve injury, please report to Dorset Police. Call 999 for all collisions where somebody is in danger, has potentially been seriously injured, you believe a serious offence has been committed, or the collision has caused a blockage or dangerous obstruction of the road, and report it to Dorset Police online or via the non-emergency number if anyone was injured but they do not require emergency treatment, or if there's no injury but you suspect the other person may have committed a driving offence. You must report the collision to the police even if you were unable to exchange details at the scene. The mural of Weymouth lifeboat that is sited on the gable end of the former Coast Guard headquarters, which is now a cafe, was unveiled over last weekend. It's turning out to be a major tourist attraction with locals and visitors alike pausing to take pictures of the display. The mural is to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the formation of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution. The mural, created by artist Peter Sheridan, was revealed recently to a cheering crowd by volunteer lifeboat operations manager Simon Kershaw and recently retired operations manager Steve Renyard. A new housing scheme with 24/7 on-site support services for 6 vulnerable ex-rough sleepers, which is the first of its kind in the Dorset Council area, was officially opened on the 6th of May. The special occasion was marked by the planting of a cherry blossom tree and unveiling of a plaque by Cabinet Member for Health and Housing, Councillor Jill Taylor. The Haven has undergone extensive refurbishment since it was purchased by the council last year. It has 6 bedrooms with communal kitchen and living space, laundry, utilities and office and outside space. The purchase of the property follows research, which was done into services and resources for people who are homeless and rough sleeping in our area. We identified, the council say, gaps in provision for female rough sleepers and 24/7 supported accommodation for those with complex needs. Dorset Council Cabinet Member for Housing and Health Jill Taylor said, "I am so proud to officially open the first scheme of its kind in the area, which will give much needed care and support in safe surroundings for women who have faced difficulties with mental health, substance misuse and or been victims of domestic abuse. The scheme will provide vulnerable women a platform to rebuild their lives and thrive, giving them stability so they can find the strength, confidence and ability to grow and make strides towards making a happy and independent life for themselves." Excuse me. The property was bought to create a haven for women who need specialist support, free from harm and danger, and to reduce the risk of them becoming homeless. Dorset Council's housing team submitted a grant application to the government's single homelessness accommodation programme via Homes England, which was successful and provided nearly half of the funding to buy and renovate the building. Julian House, a charity which specialises in working in outreach and homelessness, was successful in the procurement process to provide the female-focused support service. Women will be assessed on their suitability to live there based on their current living arrangements and support needed via an established multi-agency allocations panel. Now, if you know of someone who is sleeping rough, please contact the Dorset Council Housing Team on 01305 221 000 or visit www.streetlink.org.uk. That's www.streetlink.org.uk. Detectives from Dorset Police are appealing for any witnesses to come forward as they investigate a report of a serious assault at a beauty spot near Dorchester. Shortly before 2 p.m. on Saturday the 3rd of May, Dorset Police received a report that a man aged in his 30s had been assaulted by another man who was known to him in the area of Hardy Monument. The victim was taken to hospital for treatment to cuts and a suspected stab wound, with the injuries not believed to be life-changing or life-threatening. Following fast-paced inquiries by police officers, a man aged in his 20s was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder shortly afterwards in the Weymouth area. He has been released on police bail as detectives continue their investigation. Detective Constable Neil Hooker of Dorset County CID said, "We have been conducting extensive inquiries into this matter and have arrested a suspect. I'm appealing for anyone who has witnessed the incident and may be able to assist our inquiries to please contact us. In particular, I understand 2 members of the public came to the aid of the victim, and I'll be very keen for these individuals to please make themselves known to us so that we can take their accounts." Anyone with information is asked to contact Dorset Police by calling 101, or if you wish to give information anonymously, by contacting the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. Now, staying with Dorset Police, 2 new Dorset Police vessels have been taken to the water to provide the force with significantly improved capabilities to keep people safe along the coastline. The force has welcomed 2 new vessels which have been funded by the Home Office that will focus on keeping people safe across a lengthy coastline and tackling a range of criminal activity. Police vessel Sentinel is a Sargo flybridge boat. That's I believe, the top one in the picture. And police vessel Invictus is an 11-metre ultimate boat's tactical rib. That's the lower picture. Both purpose-built to meet the needs of policing. These 2 new vessels are a significant upgrade, offering improved capabilities to respond to calls for service and patrol the coastline at day or night, even in severe weather conditions. The flybridge boat is the first of its kind for the force and has vastly improved functionality than Dorset Police has ever had before. It carries 1,100 litres of fuel and can travel up to approximately 500 nautical miles on a full tank, with a top speed of 48 knots, allowing for rapid response to an incident. The boats are used by the Force's team of specialist trained marine police officers who are responsible for responding to incidents on the water, as well as using their expert knowledge to investigate marine-related crimes. The boats will be used for a variety of purposes, including water searches, identifying offences and antisocial behaviour at sea and on water, transporting specially trained officers and specialist equipment to incidents, and providing reassurance marine patrols along the coastline. Assistant Chief Constable Steve Lynn of Dorset Police said, "These new additions to our marine fleet funded by the Home Office allow us to better serve our communities and ensure we can put our specialist resources in the right places. We cover a large coastal area with 96 miles of the Jurassic coastline in Dorset, and it's only right that we have the capabilities to respond to an incident on the water in the same way as we would do on land. The boats will enable us to be more visible on the water, providing a deterrent for any antisocial behaviour or criminality. They will also strengthen the way we work with our partners such as the Coast Guard and the RNLI." And still staying with Dorset Police is helping to highlight measures people can take to keep their properties secure from burglars ahead of the summer. Over the summer months, homes are often left unoccupied for longer periods of time as people jet off on holiday, and windows and doors are more likely to be left open as people air their homes amid the warmer weather. Burglaries during this time are often as a result of opportunity rather than planning, which makes many crimes entirely preventable if homeowners follow some simple tips. Dorset Police is sharing a short video created by colleagues at Staffordshire Police, designed to help residents identify gaps in their home security and be sure you're secure this summer. That's what it's called. So we're going to share that video with you now.
What kind of person lives in a house like this? Well, the front entrance certainly makes a statement. Notice this vintage urn-style door knocker. Someone with a love of history, perhaps. And as we step into the hall, and just look at that British standard mortise lock, could it be someone with an appreciation for security? Viewed through this polished chrome letterbox, the front hallway is in the contemporary style, with house keys out of reach and out of sight. Perhaps somebody with an aversion to unexpected guests.
Someone is at the front door.
And this video doorbell suggests someone who likes to keep an eye on things. The back garden is a private... The back garden is a private sanctuary with a paved patio for those warm summer evenings, leading to this rather impressive summer. The garden shed tells an interesting story with its closed shackle padlock. Evidently, a person who doesn't like to share their tools. But the best view in the house is upstairs, where the windows
There we go, some humorous tips there, all making very good points on how to keep your home secure this summer. Now, Detective Superintendent Steve May of Dorset Police said, although dwelling burglaries in Dorset have decreased by 7% year on year, continuing to reduce the number of incidents remains a top priority for Dorset Police. Help us to continue burglary offences in Dorset. Help us to continue to reduce burglary offences in Dorset by making it hard for offenders to target and gain entry to your property. Excuse me. Simple crime prevention techniques such as ensuring valuables and electrical items including tablets, laptops and mobile phones are not left on display, and locking windows and doors when you leave the property will help reduce the chance of you being burgled. When your property is empty, give the impression that it's occupied by using a light timer switch, drawing the curtains and cancelling milk and newspaper deliveries if you're going to be away for a period of time. If you're going away on holiday, please let your neighbours and friends know and don't put it on social media, as this is an advertisement to burglars that your home is empty. Also, consider fitting your property with a video doorbell or CCTV and securing any garden sheds with locks. This could make it difficult for burglars to be successful. Now, Dorset Police have got some advice online for you, and if you want some advice on how to keep your home secure, you can visit their website at www.dorset.police.uk. Protect your home. Nice and easy. www.dorset.police.uk/protect your home. Moving on, Dorset Museum and Art Gallery is seeking the support of local people and organisations to help acquire an ancient Bronze Age gold hoard, and you can see it there on the screen. The Dorset Museum and Art Gallery has the opportunity to acquire the Critchell Hoard, a group of 3 rare Bronze Age gold ornaments dating back over 3,000 years to around 1400 to 1150 BCE. The hoard includes a twisted gold ribbon torque, a gold ornament with mysterious past, and a spiralled gold bracelet. Each piece shines with the characteristic deep gold colour of ancient metalwork and bears the marks of its age, including surface scratches and traces of soil from its burial site. The remarkable discovery sheds new light on Bronze Age life in southern England, linking to similar finds from Somerset and beyond. Artefacts like these are exceptionally rare in the region and significantly deepen the understanding of early gold working, social structures and cultural practices over 3 millennia ago. The Critchell hoard has been independently valued at £9,000, with £8,000 already raised thanks to generous support from the Arts Council England, the V&A Purchase Grant Fund and the Headley Trust. Dorset Museum and Art Gallery now seeks to raise the final £1,000 needed, with all the funds going directly towards the hoard's acquisition, conservation and future display. If you can help with that appeal, then do contact Dorset Museum and Art Gallery. People in Dorset are being invited to share their views on an exciting new plan to help restore and protect nature across the county. The Dorset Local Nature Recovery Strategy, developed by Dorset Council with the help of Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Council, Natural England and a wide range of local people and organisations, aims to drive coordinated action to make nature bigger, better and more connected throughout Dorset. Dorset is known for its beautiful landscapes, and its natural environmental supports a wide variety of wildlife and local communities. People across the county depend on nature for health, food, water, economy and enjoyment. And healthy ecosystems with thriving wildlife provide essential solutions to issues like climate change, flooding and pollution. But nature in Dorset is declining. Over the years, the amount and types of wildlife in the county have reduced, and many areas for nature have been split up or lost. This led Dorset Council to declare a nature emergency in July 2024. The new local nature recovery strategy will tackle this decline by identifying priority species and habitats and coordinating efforts to create, improve and connect nature areas across Dorset. The Dorset Local Nature Recovery Strategy is open for consultation through until the 30th of July this year. To help shape the strategy, there's a short survey that you can take to provide your feedback. And if you go onto Google and search for Dorset Local Nature Recovery Strategy, it takes you to a page with some basic information and a link to the survey. So that's Dorset Local Nature Recovery Strategy, searching on Google. If you would like a paper copy of the form, because you're not good at doing it online, if you call 01305 221 000, you can request a copy if you prefer to have it on paper. And finally, in our headlines tonight, an evening of words and music inspired by Thomas Hardy is coming to Dorchester soon. Wessex-based Wyvern provide a unique take on Hardy's work, infusing it with their voices, visuals and instruments. Join them at the Dorset History Centre, Bridport Road, Dorset, on Wednesday, May the 21st at 7 p.m. for an intimate evening of words and music inspired by the works of Thomas Hardy. Words Take Wing is a unique take on Thomas Hardy's imagination and his creative process in his novels and poetry. Wyvern will draw on Thomas Hardy's love of the land, its people and the music around him, infusing it with their voices, visuals and instruments. Tickets are £8 for members of the Dorset Archives Trust and £10 for non-members, and each ticket includes a glass of wine and some nibbles. There we go. That's the end of the headlines tonight. It's now time in tonight's programme to go over to Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to the final attached to the news Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week there's nothing new being released, so I decided to review a couple of the streaming films that came out in April that I missed. So this week I checked out G20, an action thriller film starring Viola Davis as the President of the United States, who must use her military skills to fight off a group of terrorists who take over a G20 conference. The film also stars Anthony Anderson, Ramon Rodriguez, Elizabeth Marvel, Clark Gregg, and Anthony Starr, all of whom are recognisable faces from TV. So Anthony Starr is currently starring in The Boys. Anthony Anderson was on Law and Order. Clark Gregg was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know. So, you know, big sort of, you know, TV stars. So it's basically like a sort of female Die Hard type thing. I watched this film for the first time this week, and I have to say, I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because I heard it wasn't very good. It's got like low score on Letterboxd. It has a nice, reliable cast. Like, you know, they're all faces that you know, so you know that helps you feel at ease in the film, and they're all giving, you know, good performances. They're making the money. Well, I say good. They're making their money, doing their best, and it definitely has enough action to satisfy, you know, genre fans, even if the script struggles for a few seconds here and there. So I gave the film 4 stars out of 5, and G20 is streaming now on Amazon Prime Video. Also this week I watched Bullet Train Explosion, a Japanese thriller film, which is a sequel to a 1975 film called The Bullet Train, which inspired Speed, the Keanu Reeves film. Bullet Train Explosion revolves around the passengers and crew of a bullet train bound for Tokyo, when the train gets taken hostage by an anonymous criminal who has rigged the train to explode if it goes below 100 kilometers per hour. So I never saw the original. I didn't even know there was an original up until I watched this movie. But you can watch this film on its own, because pretty much everything you need to know about the original they reference in the film, and it is actually quite I say you can watch it on its own. It is quite connected to the original, but it is pretty much fairly standalone, as I don't think any of the original cast are in this film. So this film, Bullet Train Explosion, is immensely tense. It's got masterful directing. The director of this previously was a co-director on Shin Godzilla, which I absolutely loved. But this has just masterful directing and great performance from the cast, as especially a young female cast member called Hana Toyoshima, who plays a teenage girl pivotal to the main story. I can't really sort of say what her role is, because it'd be a spoiler. So, but honestly, go check it out. Bullet Train Explosion is streaming now on Netflix. I actually really enjoyed it. I forgot to write down how many stars I gave it. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. Yeah, it's streaming now on Netflix. That's all I have for this week, but because Wyke Regis TV won't be continuing with its news segment anymore, it'll be sure to tune into my YouTube channel, and Andrew Wright, as well as Wyke Regis TV, where my film reviews will continue in a longer format, because we're not sort of going into and out of news anymore. So now, for one last time, back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew, and thank you for all your work so far, and the work that you'll continue to do in the new format in the weeks ahead. And also, for the last time, we're now going over to the Met Office, and this week we are joined by Jonathan Vautry.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. Hope you've been able to enjoy some of the widespread sunshine that we've had around today. Whilst high pressure has been in charge during this first half of the weekend, increasingly as we head into Sunday, it's areas of low pressure that are going to make their influence known. One in the northwest and one in the southwest. This one in the north is making a very slow progress, and so it will hold off for the time being, and many will stay dry. To the south, though, we are going to see some showers spreading from the Channel Islands and towards the West Country during the forthcoming night. Clear spells for many elsewhere, even though it is going to be a mild night for the vast majority. Temperatures holding up around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius in some locations as we kick off the morning. We'll be watching as these showers continue to push their way northwards in the south. Some of them have the potential to turn quite heavy and thundery in locations, so do watch out as they spread their way in, moving into parts of Wales, maybe the West Midlands into the afternoon as well. The second half of the day will turn quite cloudy for Northern Ireland, with some longer spells of rain moving in and showers also developing for western and northern areas of Scotland. But where you hold on to the sunshine, elsewhere it is going to be feeling very warm for the time of year, highs of 25, maybe 26 degrees Celsius for some of us. Always just that little bit fresher across eastern coastal districts where we do have a breeze moving in off the North Sea. And as we head into this overnight period, there will be some mist and low cloud being dragged in from the sea, particularly for the northeast of England up towards eastern areas of Scotland, turning a little bit misty and murky here. The rain continuing for parts of Northern Ireland overnight, and we'll continue to see the showers spreading in from the southwest as well, moving into further areas of Wales and other areas of England as we head throughout the day. There is uncertainty in regards to the exact extent of these showers, so I wouldn't take these graphics too literally at this stage, but it gives you a broad sense of where some of those heavy, thundery downpours may be moving their way through. So it is worth taking care over the course of Monday and staying up to date with the forecast, as some localised impacts are possible. Hail and lightning in the mix as well. Despite that though, we are still filtering in some quite warm air from the southeast, and so temperatures will still be climbing towards those highs of 26 degrees Celsius in places. So quite humid with some of the thunderstorms around, but still very warm indeed. And as we head into the rest of next week, our area of low pressure will gradually say goodbye to areas of the UK, moving towards the south, and that allows high pressure to build in once again. So conditions will be settling down for all of us, widespread sunshine developing in there, and temperatures remaining above average for the time of year. Low to mid-20s is possible for many throughout the forthcoming week. There'll be plenty more updates on all of that across our YouTube channel though, so do subscribe, and we'll see you again here very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much there, Jonathan. And we will look at what the weather has for the week ahead down here on the south coast. And as we can see, quite a lot of sunshine, a little bit of cloud, nice and warm. Tomorrow, we're not too sure what's going to happen, and maybe on Monday there may be showers, as we heard in the national weather forecast. So just be prepared for those. We might get them, we might miss them. Looking at our What's On section, Weymouth Pavilion, 13th of May, Ocean with David Attenborough, the film being broadcast at the Pavilion. 14th of May, the D-Day Darlings. You've probably seen them on TV recently as part of the VE Day celebrations, a well-known act. 16th of May, Genesis Connected. 17th of May, Bon Jovi Experience. 18th of May, James Bond Concert Spectacular. That's a sort of a mini orchestra coming and doing James Bond music. They've got very good reviews. And 23rd of May, Henning Wen, Acid Wen. Henning Wen is one of the comedians that's on Have I Got News For You and programmes like that occasionally. More information on weymouthpavilion.com or by contacting the box office on 01305 783 225. Turning to the Nothe Fort, the final day of the VE Day commemoration activities at the Nothe Fort. There until, I think that's from 11 till 4. 17th of May, the Cold War bunkers open. 24th of May to 1st of June, Castles and Dragons are at the Nothe Fort. More information on nothefort.org.uk. Couple of other events for you. The Occasional Singers will be performing at St Mary's Church, Dorchester, on the 18th of May at 3 p.m. They'll be performing a selection of songs depicting the 4 seasons of the year. There'll be a retiring collection for Julia's house. And then the Sound of Musings, including songs and stories from the life of author Brian E. Wood, will be at St Mary's Church in Weymouth on Thursday the 22nd of May at 7:30. It's a free event with themed refreshments being served. And finally this week, church services are in Wyke, Regis, 8 a.m. Communion at All Saints Church tomorrow, 9:30 Communion at All Saints, and 11 o'clock at St Edmunds. Our other programme tonight, our quiz at 7:30. All will be welcome to join us. The feed will go live just before 7:20. Tomorrow there will be May's edition of A Year Gardening with Clive Gray. And just to remind you, those will both be continuing. And that really brings us to the end of this week's programme. and to the end of our regular weekly news programmes after 5 years and approximately 250 episodes. So thank you again to all those who've regularly sent in material, those who've watched our programme each week. All of your support has been very much appreciated. Please continue to follow Andrew's weekly film reviews that will be up every week, and join us for the quizzes and Clive's gardening programmes. And we will be back occasionally with some special features to keep you updated on things. That brings me to the end of the programme, and I won't be back next week at 6 o'clock, as I've said. So thank you all, and good night.